Virtual Universe, Thunder Island Peak. Luo Feng and the Ice Peak leader walked side by side in the walkway, their moods happy. Even though the battle on the Primal Star had allowed him to become famous, even making him one of the Universe Lords, Luo Feng was very clear that he was only at the bottom of the Universe Lords. The main reason he had exploded on the Primal Star was because he wanted to regain control of Earth, allowing the people of Earth to truly have their own home. Earth had returned. The people of Earth had slowly become a branch of the universe. Just like the human race's Manka people, the people of Earth had also become an extremely noble race. His goal had been achieved, however Luo Feng knew how weak he was. On Primal Star, relying on the Calamity Armor and the even more powerful Star Pagoda, he was still at a disadvantage against the Star River Emperor. The moment he lost the Star Pagoda, he would indeed be at the bottom. Luckily during this trip to the Primal region, I found another route. The Wu Killer Wings are extremely special, they can actually control space and time. I was lucky enough to obtain a top-grade domain-type treasure, the Flame Sand Cup. Miniature Universe, Wu Killer Wings, Blazing Sand Cup. The three stacked together can completely suppress a Pinnacle Domain treasure. Comparable to the Pinnacle Domain treasures. Only the strongest treasures can suppress it. With this move, the opponent's power will definitely be suppressed by 1 or 2 levels. Luo Feng thought. Normally, just the Golden Country and the Flame Domain can barely match a Pinnacle Domain treasure when used together. At crucial times, the Miniature Universe can be used too. The only weakness is that it consumes 10% of my god body. Luo Feng sighed. Actually, I am the universe was the lowest level of usage. Back when he was at the Undying level, 10% of his god body was already enough. The current Luo Feng could indeed use 1% or even 1/1000th of his god body, however the power would be much weaker and much weaker. It's a pity that I only have one strongest technique, and it's a support technique like the Miniature Universe. Luo Feng thought, if only I had an attack technique. Like the Star River Emperor, Ice Peak Leader, etc. beings, they all had their strongest attack techniques. Before, I was at the bottom, only relying on the Calamity Armor to stay alive. Now, at least I can suppress the Sky Wolf Leader. Luo Feng looked at the distant silhouette, immediately throwing all his thoughts to the back of his mind, walking over. Teacher. Senior brother, the Peak Lord called out as well. Sit. The Primal Chaos City Leader personally poured fruit wine for Luo Feng and the Ice Peak Leader. Luo Feng and the Ice Peak Lord sat down. Judging from your expressions, I can tell that the result is not bad. The Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. It's been hard on the two of you this time. Luo Feng, it's better if you speak, explain everything from start to finish. Luo Feng nodded. The Ice Peak Leader's personality was a bit more eccentric. During the Yuan Mystery Region battle, as he acquired quite a few pieces of the Silk Picture and received LuoFeng's help, he was an exception to Luo Feng. I'm under the orders of the Two-Faced Ancestor God sect. Luo Feng began to explain in detail. This matter, from start to finish, Luo Feng was the one who knew the most, the other warriors only joined later on. The Ice Peak Master was also listening attentively. After a short while he finished speaking. 2 pieces of the picture, 5 pieces. The City Master looked at the Iceberg Leader. Luo Feng sure is humble. The Iceberg Leader said directly, if it wasn't for his Golden Country's help, fighting with the other Universe Lords, I wouldn't have been able to acquire so much. That Golden Kingdom is extremely powerful and it can control spacetime. It's much more powerful than the Lord of the Universe's spacetime control. Combined with my Cold Mist World, it's comparable to a peak domain-type supreme treasure. Golden Country? The Primal Chaos City Leader was shocked. What Golden Country? Luo Feng, when did you acquire another treasure that can control space and time? Ha! A senior as a teacher you still don't know? The Iceberg Leader laughed, he rarely saw his senior shocked. I really don't know. The Primal Chaos City Leader looked at Luo Feng. It's the Killer Wu Feather Wings. Luo Feng said. Killer Wu Feather Wings? The Primal Chaos City Leader was shocked. Luo Feng nodded. Back then my teacher gave me the Killer Wu Feather Wings and with some luck on Primal Planet I acquired another pair of wings. What shocked me was that the wings actually fused with the Killer Wu Feather Wings, becoming the 4 wings I have now. Fused? An incomplete treasure. The Primal Chaos City Leader was shocked. An incomplete treasure. The Iceberg Leader was shocked too. No wonder, no wonder. Back then, when I obtained the Murdering Wu Feather in the Cosmic Sea, I discovered that the material of the Murdering Wu Feather was special. However, it did not appear to be damaged on the surface. Instead, I thought that it was a treasure made from some special material. The Primal Chaos City Master exclaimed, it's actually a damaged part. Normally, a damaged part's power would be greatly affected. But that Murdering Wu Feather is perfect and this is just a part. It seems like this treasure is not ordinary. Luo Feng nodded. How's its power? The Primal Chaos City Leader asked. The Killer Wu Feather Wing's greatest power right now is its control of space and time. Luo Feng said, it's stronger than the Universe Lord's control of space and time, but it's weaker than the universe's strongest. From the pressure alone, it should be a top-level treasure. Top-level treasure. The Primal Chaos City Leader exclaimed and praised. To be able to control space and time, it's considered a very special treasure, it should be the best of the best, even more valuable than normal domain treasures. Right, is that 4-wing treasure complete? I feel, it's not. Luo Feng said directly. His current position was different, even if he had a domain treasure, he didn't have to hide it, and the killer Wu feather wings were given to him by his teacher. In the future when he acquired the third part, the Primal Chaos City Leader would understand, hence it was better not to hide it. It's not complete? The Primal Chaos City Leader was shocked. It's not? The Iceberg Leader was shocked too. Haha. The Primal Chaos City Leader laughed. It's definitely the best of the best and it should be a very unique one. LuoFeng couldn't help but say, don't tell me it can't be a part of an absolute treasure. Haha part. The Primal Chaos City Leader couldn't help but laugh out loud. LuoFeng, the absolute treasures are all perfect and indestructible. Even in the universe's 3 great danger zones, they're all perfect and indestructible. Hence over the countless years, the moment an absolute treasure is born, it's always complete. Unless the owner of the absolute treasure takes the initiative to break the parts of the treasure, and it's the parts that are easily broken, otherwise how could the parts be broken? As for destruction? No one can do that. LuoFeng nodded within. 4 supreme treasures like the Star Tower, only the Tower Pearl, the Ceiling Star, and some other parts that were easy to take out could be temporarily dismantled. As for destroying them, it was impossible. Senior. The Iceberg Leader interrupted. This disciple of yours didn't just make a huge contribution with the Silk Picture, he even suppressed the Sky Wolf Leader with the Dream Ancestor Domain one-on-one, taking the Flame Sand Cup. Flame Sand Cup. The Primal Chaos City Leader's eyes gleamed. It was luck. LuoFeng said. The Primal Chaos City Leader looked carefully at LuoFeng. Even LuoFeng himself was suspicious. It wasn't luck. The Primal Chaos City Leader stared at LuoFeng, gently shaking his head. LuoFeng, my teacher knows you haven't truly stepped into the Universe Lord level. Your God energy is weaker than the other Universe Lords by a level, compared to the Star River Leader and me by 2 levels. However, you were actually able to suppress the Sky Wolf Leader with the Dream Ancestor Domain and steal the Flame Sand Cup. Originally to protect you, I wanted you to step into the Universe Lord level before entering the Universe Sea. However, from the looks of it now, you can enter the Universe Sea. The Primal Chaos City Leader said. LuoFeng was stunned. Universe Sea? Enter the Universe Sea? Senior? The Iceberg Leader frowned. The Primal Chaos City Leader shook his head at the Iceberg Leader, after which he looked at LuoFeng and exclaimed, the Universe Sea is very dangerous, however some of the pinnacle Universe Lords would occasionally go in to explore. In theory, with your strength you can naturally enter. However, once you step into the Universe Lord level, you'll become another pillar of our human race. To protect you, I originally wanted to wait until you stepped into the Universe Lord level before entering. However, from the looks of it, your strength is obviously much stronger, you can definitely enter the Universe Sea. In comparison, the Primal Universe is just a cradle. It's the cradle that nurtures us, it's very safe, the danger level is very low. The Universe Sea is the true battlefield. Large amounts of absolute beings from before the Great Apocalypse, even the strongest warriors of the universe are all in the Universe Sea. The Primal Chaos City Leader looked at LuoFeng. It's even more dangerous there, especially the depths of the 3 danger zones, even the strongest of the universe can fall there. LuoFeng held his breath. That's where the true warriors gather, large amounts of treasures, precious treasures are all born in the Universe Sea. The Primal Chaos City Leader exclaimed, the Primal Star only opens once in countless years and every time it opens the most valuable treasure is only a pinnacle domain level treasure. However, in the depths of the 3 danger zones, rumor has it that in the depths of the 3 danger zones, there are many powerful treasures. The pinnacle treasures are even more shocking. Of course, not just the depths, you definitely can't even enter the inner regions. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, right now, you can only occasionally explore the outer regions. There you'll receive true training. The warriors from before the Great Apocalypse, any one of them are older than our Primal Universe warriors. The experts of our primeval universe were all born after the Great Apocalypse. Those ancient experts are extremely powerful. Fighting with them will stimulate many of your ideas, and your strength will also increase even faster. The Primal Chaos City Master praised. Great Apocalypse? The Primal Universe's birth, evolution, operation, weakening, destruction. This was a cycle. Once the Great Apocalypse, everything within the Primal Universe would be destroyed. When the Primal Universe once again produces a new race, that would be a new cycle. And the beings from before the Great Apocalypse, naturally some were able to survive the apocalypse and preserve their lives. Go back and prepare first. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, and send me the entire contents of the picture, I'll pass it to the creator of the huge axe, and let him and the virtual universe system jointly appraise it, after which I'll tell you how much contribution points the 2 of you will receive. His contribution this time was huge, however the Primal Chaos City Leader obviously didn't have the authority to directly appraise it. Senior LuoFeng's contribution this time is the greatest. If he didn't inform us beforehand, we wouldn't even know about the Yuanao secret region. The Ice Peak Leader said, even me getting the 5 pieces of the picture was thanks to his help. If not for your own strength, even with my help, it would be useless. LuoFeng said. Relax. The race won't mistreat any large contributor. The Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. LuoFeng, go back and prepare. The Universe Sea isn't like the Primal Universe. Yes. LuoFeng replied. Universe Sea. LuoFeng muttered, his gaze getting sharper and filled with anticipation. The vast Universe Sea was endless and boundless. Till now, not a single strongest warrior in the universe had discovered its end. The universe sea was filled with endless chaos energy. Within the endless chaos energy, the Primal Universe was the largest known celestial body. The Primal Universe had already reached an unbelievable level. Other than the Primal Universe, there were other smaller universes. The other smaller universes couldn't even compare to a billionth of the Primal Universe. Just like an endless ocean and a drop of water. About 10 billion light-years away from the Primal Universe, within the endless chaos energy, there was a smaller universe. Within the smaller universe. The plan has been laid. The group of immature punks in the Primal Universe didn't even have a shred of doubt. Instead, they all fought madly for the treasures. I gave up the Yuan Ao Lord Soul Slave. I didn't want to give it up so easily. However, it's a pity he didn't manage to escape. Hao Lei also threw in a god would giving up so much, but it's still worth it. A tall and majestic figure, his entire body almost like it was made of steel, his eyes like two burning fireballs. This fireball was even more terrifying than a trillion stars. The endless power caused the surrounding earth to tremble. Don't be happy too early. A reptile whose entire body was covered in brown rocks like a towering mountain let out a low rumble. It's just that the plan has just been laid, the real harvest will still take some time. And in midair there was a huge shadow of a thunder giant, and on the chest of the thunder giant was a ball of lightning. The ball of lightning was like a star, emitting endless lightning. The thunder giant rumbled, this universe era is our last chance. If we don't even grasp this last chance, the three of us will definitely fall. Without us, our race will also perish forever. Silence. The three great existences were silent for a long time. The plan this time has been laid. We've made ample preparations and sacrificed a lot. We must succeed in one go. For eternity, for our race, we must succeed. The thunder giant said slowly. For eternity, for our race. The brown rock crawling mountain also said slowly. For eternity, for our race. The steel creature also said slowly. His voice contained absolute conviction. The 22nd chapter, Milky Way Lord, ended. This chapter was considered a turning point. Even though Luo Feng was behind in the Universe Lords, he still had his own unique methods. Within the vast god country, the endless dark ocean had huge waves. Universe Ocean? Luo Feng stood at the edge of the plaza in the shrine, gazing down at the endless dark ocean. His consciousness had already connected to the virtual universe and began his own investigation. Universe Ocean. A truly boundless existence. The Universe Ocean was filled with endless chaos energy, with many dangerous places within. The most dangerous were the three great danger zones. Peak World, Flow Mountain and Universe Boat. Other than a few dangerous places, the most commonly seen things in the Universe Ocean were universes. There were two types of universes. One was the Primal Universe that was naturally born within the Universe Ocean. The Primal Universe was the strongest existence within the Universe Ocean. It was unique. The Primal Universe's birth, nurturing trillions of races, reproducing to its peak, falling and being destroyed. This was a cycle. After the Great Apocalypse, it returned to its starting point and began a new cycle. The Primal Universe thus gave birth to trillions of races and countless warriors. The second type was the universe created by the universe's strongest. The strong's training was split into many levels. Undying, one would have a god country. As one's strength rose, the god country would gradually be perfected. After becoming the universe lord, the god country's space and time laws would be perfected. When one took the final step and became the universe's strongest, the entire god country would undergo a final transformation, becoming the initial small universe and gradually evolving. A small universe, it was actually created by the universe's strongest. No wonder even the universe primogenitor had a universe. Luo Feng exclaimed. As he was about to head to the Universe Ocean, it was rare for him to be able to concentrate and read through all the information. Right, our human race's primal universe should be the primogenitors. He was suppressed, hence the primal universe's evolution stopped, remaining in its initial state. The primal universe was the source of everything. It gave birth to trillions of races, different life forms and warriors. It gave birth to the universe's strongest and created many small universes. In comparison, those small universes couldn't even compare to the primal universe. They weren't even on the same level. One cycle of the primal universe will give birth to countless races and large amounts of warriors. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. The so-called warriors from before the Great Apocalypse were the beings from the universe era. Even the virtual universe network didn't have any information on the warriors from the Great Apocalypse, at least Luo Feng couldn't find any. However, it was very obvious that from his previous conversation with the Primal Chaos City Lord, many of the experts from before the Great Calamity were still alive. The experts of before the Great Calamity were all more ancient than the experts of our primeval universe. Luo Feng thought, those old fellows, they've trained for countless years and survived in the Universe Sea. I'm afraid none of them are easy to deal with. Teacher was right. Compared to this, the primeval universe was like a cradle. No wonder teacher didn't prepare to let me enter the cosmic sea earlier. This time I've revealed another ability, and that's why I've been acknowledged. 3 days later, an email arrived. Luo Feng, through the appraisal of the creator of the huge axe in the virtual universe system, your contribution this time is huge. However, the pieces of the picture are only pieces, they aren't connected. Hence, you'll be awarded 1,200 treasures points and the Ice Peak Leader 600. You should focus on preparing first. My true body is rushing back from the cosmic sea. This time, my true body will personally bring you into the cosmic sea. The content of the Primal Chaos City Master's mail was simple. Teacher's main body? LuoFeng's eyes gleamed, anticipating within. Teacher has a total of 3 godly bodies. One oversees Primal Chaos City, another oversees the Primeval Universe, and another roams the Cosmic Sea. It said that the main body roaming the Cosmic Sea has the strongest battle power. I've never seen it before. 1,200 treasures points, that's actually double of my teacher's. Looks like I've contributed more by informing the clan and helping my teacher. Luo Feng began to ponder on how to use the 1,200 treasures points. With 1,200 treasures points, he could roughly buy a normal pinnacle treasure weapon. Of course, like his own blazing sand cup as a pinnacle domain treasure, it was more expensive. It was about 3,000 treasures points. Even a slightly inferior top-grade domain-type treasure would cost 2,000 treasure points. Pinnacle flying palace treasures, pinnacle soul treasures, they were all very valuable. Soul treasures, he already had them. Flying palace treasures. Even though he had the Blood Cloud Palace, they didn't dare take them out. The moment they did, it would be equivalent to revealing himself as the Blood Cloud Palace leader. 1,200 treasures points, to buy a pinnacle flying palace treasure, that's simply not enough. Luo Feng shook his head. As for high-level flying palace treasures, it's not worth it. Forget it, I'll wait for when I need Teacher Mountain Traveler to craft treasures in the future, then I'll use these 1,200 points. Luo Feng had already made his plans. This time heading to the Cosmic Sea, his Earth body would definitely bring along the Golden Horned Beast and Masha clansmen. With the combined powers of the 3 bodies, spending 1,200 treasures points on high-level flying palace treasures was indeed not worth it. Whatever. I'll first familiarize myself with my Blazing Sand Cup. With the Miniature Universe, Blazing Sand Cup and Wu Killer Wings, I'll have the resources to roam the Cosmic Sea. Luo Feng stood in the air above the endless dark sea. Rumble, immediately the endless scorching flames spread in all directions. In the center of the God Country, a huge golden fireball appeared. Luo Feng was in the center of it. In the blink of an eye, close to a month had passed. Primal Universe Human Territory, Primal Region Primal Chaos City Leader's location. The Thousand Treasure River flowed majestically for a few light years. Teacher. Luo Feng bowed respectfully. Are you ready? Dressed in a golden robe, the Primal Chaos City Leader had green scales on his head. His face was similar to an Earth person's, his eyes were calm like the endless starry sky. Even standing there, he had an overpowering aura, almost as though the surrounding space and time could explode and shatter at any moment. This was an extremely aggressive aura. Luo Feng nodded, simultaneously observing his teacher's body. His teacher's body was exactly the same as the one in the virtual universe. And the one in Primal Chaos City seemed malevolent, the one in the Primal Universe should be a special life form. Follow me. The Primal Chaos City Leader nodded, bringing Luo Feng. Shwa. First a teleportation followed by a God Country teleportation. In a desolate area of the Primal Universe, there was a huge black hole. The black hole had long caused the surrounding star fields to sink into darkness. 2 silhouettes flashed and appeared, it was the Primal Chaos City Leader and Luo Feng. There are 2 ways to head to the Cosmic Sea. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, the first is to enter the space layer and teleport until you reach the end of the space layer, passing through the endless universe membrane. Even though the obstruction of the universe membrane is strong, even the universe lords are able to break through it. Luo Feng nodded and listened carefully. The second way is to go through this Toya Black Hole and leave the Primal Universe. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, the Toya Black Hole is the strongest black hole in the entire Primal Universe. The black hole's powerful tearing and twisting force is constantly destroying the membrane. Hence, once you enter the black hole, you can exit through it. Luo Feng was shocked. This Toya Black Hole is that strong? Black holes have their own strengths and weaknesses. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, of course, if it's just an easy exit, it wouldn't make so many strong warriors leave. Actually, the main reason is, the region outside the Toya Black Hole has a total of 39 natural wormholes. Natural wormholes? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. The Cosmic Sea is vast and boundless. The Primal Chaos City Leader exclaimed, the moment you enter the Cosmic Sea, you're no longer in the Primal Universe. You won't be able to rely on God Country teleportation or Dark Universe flight. To travel in the Cosmic Sea, you have to rely on teleportation and the natural wormholes. The Cosmic Sea is shockingly huge, the Primal Universe is just one part of it. Just relying on teleportation, how long would it take? The Primal Chaos City Leader smiled, hence the importance of the natural wormholes is obvious. Luckily, the Cosmic Sea is filled with strange illusions, there are many natural wormholes too. Following the natural wormholes from one end to the other, it could be tens of billions of light years. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, the normal way to travel in the Cosmic Sea is to use the natural wormholes to get through most of the journey. There are still some journeys that rely on teleportation. Of course, after an endless amount of time, the large amounts of natural wormholes that connect to each other have been recorded long ago. From there, one can find the fastest route to the destination. Luo Feng nodded. Remember, the Cosmic Sea is different from the Primal Universe. The Primal Universe's special structure allows one to determine the coordinates anywhere. However, there's no way to determine the coordinates in the Cosmic Sea. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, hence, in the Cosmic Sea, a map is extremely important. The reference points on the map are extremely important too. According to the map and reference points, one won't get lost in the cosmic sea. Getting lost in the cosmic sea is extremely terrifying. The moment one gets lost, if one has to rely on teleportation to find the way back, the more he teleports, the further he gets. Eventually he'll be forever lost in the cosmic sea. If one's luck is good, he'll be able to find his way back after an endless amount of eras. Luo Feng was shocked. Lost? Hence, any universe lord has to leave a clone in the Primal Universe. To prevent any special circumstances in the cosmic sea from causing one to be completely lost, with a clone at least you can get the map. However, even if you get the map, the moment you get lost too far and can't find the reference points on the map, you'll be finished. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, hence in the cosmic sea you can't run around randomly. If you want to explore the cosmic sea you have to rely on flying. Because wherever you fly you can record the details of the map. Right. Places marked clearly on the map you can teleport. Unknown areas that aren't covered by the map, you're forbidden from teleporting. The Primal Chaos City Leader emphasized. I'll now give you the map of the cosmic sea. This is the most detailed map of the human race. Of course, it's just a small part of the cosmic sea. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, at least the 3 great danger zones are included. Luo Feng very quickly received an extremely complicated huge map, so complicated that it made his heart tremble. Let's go. Let's head to the cosmic sea. The Primal Chaos City Leader immediately brought Luo Feng. Rumble. The two immediately flew into the depths of Toya's black hole and quickly vanished. Toya Black Hole, the strongest black hole in the Primal Universe. Howl howl, the powerful devouring energy worked on his body. If it was a normal night he would have instantly turned to dust. However to Luo Feng, after the armor weakened it to 1/100,000, it was no threat at all. Luo Feng and the Primal Chaos City Leader quickly arrived at the deepest part of the black hole. That's the main body of the black hole. The Primal Chaos City Leader pointed ahead. Luo Feng looked over. It was a 3 m tall, completely black ball. On its surface were dark golden engravings. Countless engravings formed a very peculiar picture. This dark golden engraved ball was the main body of the black hole, producing that endless and terrifying devouring energy. Around it was one of the membranes of the Primal Universe. The membranes too had a 10,000 kilometers diameter hole torn open by the twisting energy. Shwa. Luo Feng and the Primal Chaos City Leader flew past the main body of the black hole, completely resisting the suction of the black hole, following the hole and flying out. Outside was the cosmic sea. Ha. The moment Luo Feng flew into the cosmic sea, he looked at the mist like primal chaos energy flow. The endless chaos energy produced a pressure that filled the skies. The pressure was so strong it was simply shocking. Even though the chaos energy didn't intentionally attack, just the pressure it emitted was enough to destroy an undying. What a strong pressure, it's much stronger than my miniature universe chaos energy. Luo Feng exclaimed to himself. Chaos energy flow, the energy source of a universe. The Primal Chaos City Leader stood in mid-air, looking at the endless chaos energy flow. I have no confidence in the Primal Universe, however the strongest of the universe's small universe, they all use the chaos energy as their energy source. The purity of the chaos energy in the cosmic sea is the highest, at least much purer than the chaos energy in our Primal Universe. Luo Feng nodded. What a joke. The Primal Universe was merely a small universe in its initial state, the chaos energy within had no pressure at all. Hence back then Luo Feng and the other star level 9 punks were able to live comfortably in Primal Chaos City. After leaving the Primal Universe, we'll be exploring the cosmic sea. The Primal Chaos City Leader turned to look behind. Luo Feng turned too. Standing in the void and turning around, not far behind him was the irregularly torn hole in the membrane wall. At a glance, the huge membrane wall spread out in all directions. It was like a huge curtain wall with no end in sight. It was as if the other half of the cosmic sea had been covered. This is the primeval universe, the cradle that nurtured billions of races, and also the cradle that nurtured me? Luo Feng thought within. At the same time he couldn't feel the pressure of the Primal Universe at all, only feeling that it was too high to reach. Ordinary people wouldn't feel any pressure even if they looked up at the sun. He only felt that the sun was too high to reach. Luo Feng looked at the Primal Universe, it was the same. How did the ancestor dare to go against the Primal Universe back then? Luo Feng said softly. The higher you stand, the further you can see. The Primal Chaos City Master also looked at the boundless primordial cosmos membrane before him. Even the strongest experts of the cosmos, or even the strongest experts of the cosmos before the Great Calamity. He had never heard of anyone daring to go against the primeval universe. Teacher is the only one. Perhaps when you're able to move unhindered through the cosmic sea, to the point where even the strongest experts of the universe before the Great Calamity are no match for you, you'll understand why the origin ancestor dared to resist. Let's go. The Primal Chaos City Master brought Luo Feng and with a teleportation they arrived in space. There were a total of 39 warp space wormholes around, they were all natural wormholes. 39 natural wormholes, their sizes are all different, and the distances they lead to are all different too. The Primal Chaos City Master smiled. You should be able to accurately identify the number 1 to 39 wormholes, right? Luo Feng nodded. The map's description was still very accurate, and there were many different ways to describe it. The only thing he was afraid of was making a mistake. Going the wrong way in the cosmic sea was a very terrifying thing. Luo Feng pointed to a slightly larger warped space wormhole not too far away. Our route this time will be following this natural wormhole 15. Right. The Primal Chaos City Master nodded in satisfaction. Let's go. Endless cosmic sea, everywhere was filled with chaos energy. However, at the Universe Lord level, one didn't just rely on sight to see. For example, the God energy that emanated from the surroundings allowed them to accurately see the situation around them, much clearer than with their eyes. Natural wormholes. Teleportation. Every teleportation had a limit of 10,000 light years. The Universe Lord's willpower and consciousness could maintain an extremely high frequency of teleportation. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. 2 silhouettes walked out of a space whirlpool. Ah! LuoFeng was shocked. Not too far away there was a huge celestial body in space, a huge universe membrane extended outwards, one couldn't see the end of it. It was just that this universe membrane was too broken. With a glance, LuoFeng could see hundreds of broken irregular holes and cracks, allowing the chaos energy to completely pass through the universe sea and the universe membrane. This is... LuoFeng was shocked. This is the reference point of the small universe? A small universe with a diameter of about 100 million light years. The golden-robed Primal Chaos City Master looked at the distant small universe, saying softly, a small universe that has long fallen and broken. Broken. Even though LuoFeng had the map, it was after all too complicated. He only had a simple understanding of the reference points, he didn't read the detailed information. The strongest of the universe has fallen, his small universe would naturally be broken. The Primal Chaos City Master looked at LuoFeng. When a warrior trains to the pinnacle, he becomes the strongest in the universe. And when a god country develops to the pinnacle, it becomes a small universe. If an undying were to fall, his god country would be broken. If the strongest of the universe were to fall, his small universe would be broken too. The Primal Chaos City Master exclaimed, "Let's go, I'll bring you to see this broken small universe." So, with a teleportation, the shocked LuoFeng was teleported to the edge of one of the cracks in the universe membrane. Universe membrane. LuoFeng looked over, only to see the chaos energy constantly roaming about, crashing into the cracks, causing the edges of the universe membrane to tremble. Passing through the 30,000 kilometers tall and 100 kilometers wide crack. This is... LuoFeng looked into the distance. Broken space shards, within the shards were continent shards. Huge mountain ranges floated. Some huge broken god corpses floated too. Whoosh. High up in the distance, a piece of the cosmos membrane fell off. At a glance, the entire cosmos seemed to be in the process of collapsing. Occasionally, the cosmos membrane would fall off, and the spatial shards would collide with each other, causing it to split apart again, causing some of the continents to become even smaller. The entire universe was constantly collapsing. The Primal Universe has nurtured trillions of races and countless warriors. As time passes, the Primal Universe will reach its peak before swiftly falling and being destroyed, after which it will begin to nurture again. Every reincarnation will nurture trillions of races and geniuses, the strongest of the universe and large amounts of universe lords. Each reincarnation is incomparably long. Every reincarnation has a group of universes strongest, and every universe's strongest corresponds to a small universe. The small universe floats in the universe sea, drifting further and further. Many of them have long since exceeded the range of the universe sea that we can detect. Just the number of discovered small universes alone number 18,022. The Primal Chaos City Master looked at the floating continent shards and god corpses within the chaos energy and said slowly. LuoFeng held his breath. Think of our reincarnation as the third universe era. The Primal Chaos City Master said, the one before us will be the second universe era. The one before that will be the first universe era. In the entire universe sea, other than the 2 sacred lands, there are only 3 universe eras warriors that have survived. The other reincarnations have all been destroyed. 3 universe eras? LuoFeng was shocked. The Primal Chaos City Master nodded. Yes, in the endless universe sea, there are the first universe era, second universe era, and our third universe era. Our third universe era is still in the process of reproduction, and the previous 2 reincarnations already had a complete reincarnation. The number of experts that were born naturally far exceeds us. The Primal Chaos City Master said, our third era is the weakest era. The first era is the strongest. LuoFeng understood too. As the universe develops, the rate at which the strong are born is very slow. This is because the techniques etc. have to be created and perfected. As time goes on, the rate of nurturing the strong will increase. His own third universe era may have only gone through half of the reincarnation, the previous 2 were complete, the number of warriors would naturally be different. The Primal Chaos City Master shook his head and laughed. Of course you don't have to belittle yourself. The ancestor roamed the universe sea back then, he was definitely invincible. The other universe's strongest all took a detour. Teacher, you said 3 universe eras? 2 sacred lands? LuoFeng frowned. What are these sacred lands? Actually, from the 10,000 over small universes that have been discovered, it's easy to tell how many of the strongest have been born. However, over 99% of the small universe have already been destroyed. The Primal Chaos City Master said, obviously those strongest have all fallen. The destruction of the small universe meant the fall of the strongest. Other than the 3 great universe eras, there are still 2 other powers in the universe sea, they each belong to a small universe. The Primal Chaos City Master sighed. Those 2 small cosmos should be the strongest small cosmos of the cosmos before our first 10 or even the first 100 cosmos reincarnations. Luo Feng was shocked. The Primal Universe had reincarnated time and time again. In the distant reincarnation eras, there were actually still survivors? Those two small universes are also extremely huge. The Primal Chaos City Master said, the strongest of the known universes, small universe, usually at most 100 million light-years in diameter. Those are two small universes, one is 2.1 billion light-years in diameter. The other is 3.2 billion light-years in diameter. It's the largest of the two small universes. There's no way to verify the reincarnation era. Luo Feng was shocked within. Countless reincarnation eras were destroyed. However, those two small universes were still able to survive. This was naturally extraordinary. 3 universe eras and 2 sacred lands, these are the powers of the endless universe C. Of course, every universe era isn't united. Just like our third universe era, we have 9 great superpowers, 12 great powers, etc. That first universe era and second universe era similarly have 10 powers. Hence, within the endless universe C, it can be said to be extremely chaotic. Any power that isn't on your side can suddenly attack you. The Primal Chaos City Master said. The 3 universe eras can be divided into dozens of powers, said Primal Chaos City Leader. There are almost 100 powers in total, and none of them can compare to the 2 holy lands. Primal Chaos City Leader stood in the space inside. The 2 holy lands, each of them is extremely powerful. One-on-one, none of the powers can compare to them. Of course, if we count the entire universe era, even the original universe, which is the weakest, is still stronger than any of the holy lands. I think the 2 holy lands combined are comparable to the original universe. Luo Feng was shocked. The power of the entire original universe? There were more than a dozen universe supreme masters. There were more than 30 universe masters in the Hong Alliance, and there were 9 superpowers and 12 top-tier powers. The top-tier powers didn't have any universe supreme masters, but they weren't weak in terms of universe masters. There were also some universe masters who traveled alone, and some who had gone missing. In the entire Primal Universe, it was estimated that there were close to 1,000 universe masters. More than a dozen universe supreme masters and 1,000 universe masters. The 2 holy lands combined were comparable? Don't be shocked. Primal Chaos City Leader sighed. Although the 2 holy lands don't have as many universe masters as the original universe, the 2 holy lands have existed for countless reincarnations. They're inferior in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality they're superior. At least those who dare to come out have all comprehended supreme techniques. Luo Feng took a deep breath. Supreme techniques? Those who came out all knew them? This is the information recorded by the great beings of the original universe, the first and second universe eras, and the 2 holy lands. The Primal Chaos City Leader flipped his hand and took out a transparent crystal ball that glowed with golden light. He said solemnly, these are all extremely high-end information that we humans have collected over a long period of time. Some of them are even related to some extremely confidential matters. Even if we do exchange information, some confidential information is kept secret. You can destroy it after reading it. Okay. Luo Feng nodded. He understood that Primal Chaos City Leader had brought him to Universe Ocean to tell him some information. If Luo Feng had been given a lot of information in the original universe, he wouldn't have been too vigilant. However, in Universe Ocean he had seen the broken universe. After experiencing the shock, he started to pay more attention to the information. Holding the crystal ball, Luo Feng sent a trace of his godly power into it. Immediately, countless pieces of information rushed into his mind. In this collapsing universe, some godly bodies were floating in the distance. Primal Chaos City Leader looked at Luo Feng, who was receiving information. This. Luo Feng opened his eyes and looked at Primal Chaos City Leader. Do you feel the pressure? Primal Chaos City Leader laughed. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. After reading the confidential information, Luo Feng felt an endless sense of crisis. Too weak. His side in the Primal Universe was the weakest. He was at a disadvantage in terms of godly power. With Miniature Universe, Shi Wu Wings, and Flame Sand Cup, he was considered to be doing well in the Primal Universe. However, in Universe Ocean he was obviously ranked behind. For example, the 2 holy lands. Their godly powers were definitely stronger than LuoFeng's, and all of them had comprehended supreme techniques. Even if Luo Feng relied on Miniature Universe, Shi Wu Wings, and Flame Sand Cup, he would definitely be at the bottom when compared to the 2 holy lands. I was going to let you become a universe master before coming here, said Primal Chaos City Leader. Although you can't beat me, you can at least protect yourself. More training will help you become a universe master. Luo Feng nodded. Let's go. Primal Chaos City Leader took Luo Feng with him. Shwa. They teleported out of the collapsing miniature universe and continued their journey. High-frequency continuous teleportation. Occasionally they would rely on natural wormholes. On the 6th day after Luo Feng entered Universe Ocean, in the endless chaos airflow, ahead of us is the dangerous land, Shaking Sand River. Primal Chaos City Leader pointed ahead. Although Shaking Sand River isn't as dangerous as the 3 lands of Extremis, you'll still be in danger if you trespass. Even I have to explore carefully. If I dare to teleport recklessly in Shaking Sand River, I'm afraid I'll be in danger of dying. On the map of Universe Ocean, there were indeed many descriptions of dangerous lands, and Shaking Sand River was one of the most common ones. In Universe Ocean, there are more than 3,000 dangerous lands known to the human race, and as time goes by, the number is increasing. Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. Universe Ocean is too big. The two holy lands probably know more dangerous lands, but they won't tell us. In the blink of an eye, it was the 8th day in Universe Ocean. Soon we'll be able to see Tilted Peak Sector, one of the 3 lands of extremists. Compared to Tilted Peak Sector, the other dangerous lands are nothing. Primal Chaos City Leader took Luo Feng and teleported again. Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City Leader stood side by side in space, looking into the distance. Whoa! Luo Feng squinted. It was too beautiful. Looking into the distance, there was a towering mountain in the distance, and the peak of the mountain was halfway up the mountain. It was as if a being with endless power had cut the mountain, causing the peak to fall to the mountainside. Whoa! On the flat main mountain, there was an enormous waterfall pouring down in torrents, crashing into the mountainside below. The water pervaded the surroundings, submerging a small portion of the mountain peak that had fallen down. At the same time, countless rocks were flying around the mountain. That's Tilted Peak Sector, said Primal Chaos City Leader. Tilted Peak, the peak of the mountain that fell. Look, those rocks are small, right? Primal Chaos City Leader pointed at the rocks flying around the mountain and smiled. We're more than 100 million light years away. How big do you think those rocks are? Luo Feng was dazed. The Universe Ocean map he'd gotten described Tilted Peak Sector in detail. For example, the main mountain of Tilted Peak Sector was about 98.02 million light years tall, and the peak had a diameter of 12.26 million light years. Outside the mountain was the outer domain, and the danger level was lower. However, some of the more dangerous places could still cause universe masters with weaker survival abilities to die. Inside the mountain was the inner domain, and the danger level was extremely high. Even the most powerful universe masters could die there. In the core area of the mountain, even universe supreme masters could die there. Rocks? Luo Feng muttered. The map didn't describe the sizes of the rocks, but the main mountain is about 98.02 million light years tall. Those rocks should be proportional. Luo Feng estimated. They should be measured in light years. At least in the original universe, it was impossible for a mountain to be 100 million light years tall and a rock to be measured in light years. This could only happen in Universe Ocean, which nurtured the original universe. Let's go, said Primal Chaos City Leader with a smile. We're still far away from it. We still need to teleport for a while. After a short while, Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City Leader entered the outer domain of Tilted Peak Sector. Whoosh whoosh. Giant rocks that were so tall that they seemed to be boundless were flying at high speeds. Previously they looked like small rocks from hundreds of millions of light years away, but now they were so big that they seemed to be boundless. They were also flying at several times the speed of light. The speed limit in Universe Ocean wasn't the speed of light in the original universe. Look, that's a great being from one of the pinnacle races from the first universe era. Primal Chaos City Leader pointed in the distance. It was a strange beast with giant scales and wings, and it was red all over. It was looking in their direction. Primal Chaos City Leader. A hint of fear flashed across the avian beast's single eye. Immediately after, it teleported and disappeared. The Geo race. Luo Feng said to himself. The races that were nurtured in the 2 universe reincarnation eras before the Great Apocalypse were still different from the original universe. The Geo race was once born in the original universe, but it was exterminated. However, it developed into a pinnacle race in the first universe reincarnation era. Shwa. He kept teleporting. After a long time, they passed many celestial rocks that were flying at several times the speed of light and finally landed on a celestial rock with a diameter of 8.2 light years. There are countless celestial rocks in the outer domain of Tilted Peak Sector, and they're flying at high speed. Primal Chaos City Leader stood on the surface of the celestial rock and looked at the space around him. However, you'll notice that the other rocks are relatively still. Yes. The rocks near the main peak flew slowly while the rocks far away flew quickly. That was why the rocks were always at a distance from each other. Huge Axe Creator is now in Tilted Peak Sector, said Primal Chaos City Leader. Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. That's why the great beings of the human race in Universe Ocean are mainly at Tilted Peak Sector. No wonder Huge Axe Creator didn't notice Yuan Ao's secret region. It's here. Luo Feng understood. This celestial rock is the temporary gathering place of the human race, Primal Chaos City Leader said. Of course, the universe masters of the other races in the Hong Alliance are also gathering here. Follow me. He teleported Luo Feng. They arrived at another place 3 light years away from the celestial rock. A random groove on the surface of the celestial rock was more than 1,000,000 kilometers deep, and there was a godly palace in the canyon. 2 beings were talking outside the godly palace. Suddenly they saw Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City Leader. Chaos. Chaos, you're here. You brought Luo Feng here. Luo Feng had just landed in the canyon when he sensed that there were 5 universe masters inside and outside the godly palace. He had seen all of them in the virtual universe, and the virtual universe simulated all the forces, so he could tell that 3 of the 5 universe masters were from the human race, and the other 2 were from the non-human race in the Hong Alliance. Chaos. 3 beings came out of the godly palace to welcome them. Apparently, Primal Chaos City Leader had a very high status. Milky Way Horde Leader, welcome to Tilted Peak Sector. A friendly laugh was heard. It was Remote Lord Master, whom Luo Feng was familiar with.